Hello, I'm Daniel, and welcome to the Emunah Project. We here at the Emunah Project are continuing in our series of videos with respect to inspiration, education, information, guidance, advice, and I want to talk about a basic concept in Judaism, the distinction between pure and impure, clean versus unclean, sacred and profane. The Torah tells us in the book of Leviticus to distinguish between clean and unclean. It's Leviticus chapter 11, verse 47. We're to differentiate between what's ritually pure and impure, what's kosher, what's not kosher. This is an underlying motif in all of Judaism, and also for the Bnei Noach. But we have to study and learn the laws and the distinction between what is pure and what is impure, because if we don't have that, then our attempt to being observant is elusive. Observance is a problem if you don't know what it is. It has practical applications. You're fishing, and you catch a fish, and you see it's a trout, it's kosher. You catch a fish, it's a catfish, not kosher. You have to know why. A cow, kosher. A horse, not kosher. You have to know why. Rashi, the medieval commentator, Rashi, comments on this concept of Havdalah, of distinguishing, of separating between the pure and the impure, the kosher and the not kosher, as applies to everyday life. And this is something that we need to keep in our mind. We need to guide in our behavior. In shechita, in ritual slaughter, I'm not going to go into the details of it, but an animal needs to be ritually slaughtered in a very precise way. The cut has to sever certain things, and it can't be 95% right. A fraction of an inch is the distinction between what's kosher and what's not kosher, what's permitted and what's not permitted. And so in life, one mistake, one sin causes great jeopardy. And also, one good deed, one merit can cause salvation. There is a wonderful and rather lengthy passage in, I believe it is a tractate of Zara, that talks about the death of Rabbi Hanina Teradion. And it goes on for quite some time. And usually this is a person who was executed by the Romans, and he was wrapped in a Torah scroll and burnt alive. And his students were forced to watch. And what usually people quote is that he says, "What do you see? What do you see?" And he says, "Well, I see black fire on white fire," referring to the Torah. What's usually omitted is the aftermath. While he's being tortured, while he's being burned, his executioner, who's a pagan, is incredibly moved. And this is a guy who puts people to death for a living, an idolater. And he says, "Listen, I can end your life quickly. I can end the suffering. Please let me do it." And for a while, Rabbi Hanina ben Teradion resisted, but finally he nodded, and the executioner made a quick death. The executioner was so moved that once Rabbi Hanina died, he threw himself on the flames, killing himself. He couldn't go on in the aftermath of this. And it is said that a voice was heard from heaven announcing the arrival of Rabbi Hanina ben Teradion and his executioner with one thing, the merit of one thing, you can win so much. There's also a passage in the Talmud in Tractate Eruvin, where Rabbi Ishmael meets Rabbi Meir, and Rabbi Ishmael asks him, well, what's your job? What do you do? What's your occupation? And Rabbi Meir says, well, I'm a sofer, I'm a scribe, I write things. Rabbi Ishmael says, be meticulous in your work. Be meticulous in your work. Because the omission or addition of one letter can destroy the universe. I'll give you an example. The word emet, emes, truth. A very important thing. God is truth. Our faith is truth. But if you leave out the first letter, the aleph, if you leave that out, it then becomes met, mes, death. That one little tiny letter is the difference of night and day. We're going to be doing more videos along these lines. Please come back, please watch, please learn. And until next time, on behalf of the Emunah Project, I'm Daniel, and thank you too much.